shout out.
They love it. It's like they love the abuse. It's crazy to me. It's crazy.
I forgot we were going to give away the chest rig. Oops. Anyways, welcome back everyone to the Trunk Tales. I almost said the
God damn, nigga, can I get a warning?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Here's
redo.
your warning. Here's your warning.
Redo. Let's go. I'm digging in my eyeball, bro. Like, all right. Cut.
Welcome everyone to the Trunk Tales.
My bad. One more time.
All right. No, I'm not doing it again.
No, one more time. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. One more time.
Welcome everyone to the Trunk Tales. I'm Andrew. My co-host Grimsy is here as always. I'm not editing any of that out. You guys are just gonna have to deal with it. And today we have a very special guest. Our first returning guest, Becca, also known as BX Online, is here with us today to talk about basically the goings on in the investigative world, tracking down these child predators and some of these other bad actor groups that she's been looking into over the past several years. So Becca, thank you for coming back on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. There's been a lot of developments.
I bet. If you guys haven't seen, we do have an episode with Becca from earlier several months ago. We actually recorded, I believe, in July or August. We didn't release it until September. So it's a couple months back. So go check that out. We also did a live stream with her a couple days ago, our Green Room live stream. So you guys can go check that out, see some of the stuff that we talked about to bring us up to speed here. And yeah, I'm glad to have you back on. I did see some things in the chat that I did want to bring up. I didn't want to bring them up, obviously, during the live stream because the conversation could have gotten really, really long and drawn out. But we ended the live stream talking about the Sean Ryan show and how he basically just kind of wants to pretend like you don't exist anymore after inviting you onto a show, which is, I really want to know how often that happens. I don't feel like it's a lot because I don't see people talking about it, but I really want to know how often something like that happens for his show. But on that note, I did see somebody in the chat asked you what it was like going on InfoWars. I didn't know that you went on InfoWars.
Oh yeah, I've been on InfoWars like 6 or 7 times, but
wow.
it's funny because I've been on with Harrison lots of times. I went on with Alex once a while back. Well, Kyle Serafin, our good friend who we were talking about during the live stream, he's like a pretty regular guest on Alex's show. He was on the Alex Jones show the day after the FBI quote tweeted me and basically called Kyle an idiot, which was hilarious. Kyle was very angry, so he got onto Alex Jones' show. He called me an OnlyFans whore and then accused me of downloading child porn, and then said that 100% of pedophiles claim they're researchers when they get caught. And a bunch of other stuff that was like, what the heck? And Alex, so like for context, I've been on Alex's show before. This he's hilarious, dude. He is so funny.
Is he better on or off camera, in your opinion?
He's the same.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But when you're talking to him, like they have great producers in InfoWars. So if they're showing a split screen between you and Alex and they switch to full you. That's because Alex is off camera screaming at somebody, yelling at somebody to go get him a piece of pizza or whatever, eating a burger, or, he's not paying attention. He just lets the guest talk. So that happened right when Kyle was saying that stuff, and when Alex came back, he's like, yeah. They plant stuff on people's computers all the time, and he was just like, but it sounded like he was kind of going along with it. So I sent that to my friends at InfoWars, and I was like, dude, this is unacceptable. Like, this is straight up defamation. And I'm very disappointed. And Alex came out and publicly was like, I'm sorry, I really didn't know who he was talking about, and I was off camera doing something. And then he asked me to come back on his show. So I came back on yesterday just so that he could remind people that, what I'm doing is real. And then I was on with Harrison after that. So yeah, it was a good time. I like those guys a lot.
I mean, his name is Kyle. I wonder if he's just like ruined all the drywall in his fucking house at this point.
And he's like such a stereotypical Kyle, even down to his haircut.
I've never seen what this guy looked like. I only saw what was being shared, and I never actually clicked into his profile to see what he looked like or anything like that. But that's to know that even his haircut.
If you were to look at him, you would be like, oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to pull it up.
Very punchable face, if I do say so.
Is he still on X? Like, is he self?
Yeah, Kyle Serafin.
All right, Sarah. There he is. What a dork. Have you seen what this guy looks like, Grimsy?
Oh yeah.
What, like, why is
It's
this
this physiognomy that I've seen before lots of times with the same basic character. It's straight out of Central Casting, this guy.
What is his, like, why would he pick this as his profile picture? He looks like perturbed. He doesn't look.
He's constantly angry. Like, so his whole thing is the FBI sucks. Everything the FBI does sucks. If the FBI is going after pedophiles, it must be fake. That's his op. It's his grift. His grift is to attack the Trump administration. I want to say it that way, okay? Because Kyle, what he's doing is he's trying to undermine the Trump admin behind the FBI. That's his purpose. That's his spot. That's where he's been put, so to speak. Hypothetically, of course, if he were getting paid by some kind of external organization or foreign organization to put out all of this stuff against the FBI, the purpose of that would be to subvert our trust in institutions, which I've warned people about in the past, because yeah, the FBI sucks and there's lots of stuff we can make fun of them and ridicule them for, and it's our duty to do so. Okay, it's our duty to make fun of the federal government and criticize them as much as we can. But when they're arresting pedophiles, I think that we can all just kind of come to the table and be like, oh, okay, well that's probably good. Anyways, back to what they did wrong. That's what Kyle could have done. He could have just ignored the stuff they're doing right and continued to attack them for the stuff they're doing wrong. But he didn't. He chose to actually take the stand of defending pedophile rings over and over and over. To this day, he's still defending this pedophile ring, to the extent that people like the 764 network guys have even taken notice and tried to email him and send him information and stuff. They're posting it in their Telegram chats. So yeah, he really got himself into a pickle this time.
That's that's a weird fucking hill to die on. Like,
it really is.
I'm so confused. Like, me and BX was sending me some stuff about what was going on with this, and I'm confused, bro. I'm very fucking confused that this is what you chose to do. Of all the things that you could have said is fake, right? There's so many different things that you could have came and said was fake. You chose this. You chose a pedophile ring.
Yeah. And he chose to personally attack me and make it a personal crusade that he's continued to do relentlessly for months. Even though I'm not a political figure, I don't work for any media group, I don't work for the feds. Like, I'm just a normal fucking mom who reports on this stuff. And it's just a very, very strange and suspicious thing for him to do. Like, I'm not a political figure like Julie Kelly or somebody else. Like, he's attacked a lot of people, James O'Keefe, Julie Kelly. Well, those people are figures in the broader political sphere who probably expect those kinds of targeted attacks. Not that it's right, but I'm just saying, if I'm a big political influencer, I expect those kind of ops against me. I didn't expect an op against me, because who am I? I'm a nobody, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of, I don't know, it kind of feels like the same level of mad that 764 members are at you.
Yeah.
He's kind of right there with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really make any sense at all.
Well, like, I think that the reason he hates my guts is because I made him look like a clown over and over and over. Even back when the Sean Ryan stuff broke and I was very kind of afraid and upset, I was still doing what I do best, which is dunking on him, making him look like a fool, making fun of him, and all those other things, which is why I would never probably consider a defamation suit, because it's just way more fun to make fun of him and clown on him. And so he's mad because, like, I'm right and I've been vindicated over and over, and no one agrees with him. If you go to his Twitter page, he's blocked everyone who's ever said anything negative towards him. So almost every one of us is probably already blocked. And like, so when you go to his comments, you just see like people agreeing with him. And then you'll see this random person that's like, "Fuck you, you pedophile," or something, and then he'll block that person, because he's trying to make sure that he maintains this presence of "I'm right."
You know what I've noticed?
But we all know, Kyle. We all know.
You know what I've noticed with accounts like that is that they'll actually go through there and hide the comments, and The thing that is crazy on X, like, so when there's hidden comments, you have to click like the little 3-dot menu and then go view hidden comments or whatever. On desktop, there's an icon right there, so you don't have to like go through any extra steps. But I think since so many people use X on their mobile device, that probably a lot of people don't even know that that feature exists. Because it's not like, you know, like on Facebook, if you want to hide somebody's comment, you can literally just delete it. I can delete somebody else's comment. You can't do that.
I was told that Sean Ryan was deleting YouTube comments about me in his recent
I
YouTube
believe
video.
it. So you can
But for X though, the problem is that you can see that they hid it, which honestly is like it kind of just makes it more apparent that they're trying to hide it.
Yeah.
And so a big strategy has been people being like, if you're hiding comments, we're just going to call you out that you're hiding comments, and it's going to create more attention. So more and more often we've seen people not even using that feature because it makes them look even worse.
So on YouTube specifically, you can set it to filter certain words, and it's a useful tool because then you know, if you don't want to get spammed about something all the time, you know, like you can filter out certain phrases. Like I've at one point on our other channel, I had filtered out like Mike Glover's name because people were so mad that we broke the news about him being arrested. And then of course now with the Sean Ryan stuff, so it'll still go to like a held comment inbox, and you can go and approve things. And just so everybody knows, anybody watching this, if you ever are like, oh, you hit our comment or you deleted our comment, I promise you we didn't. The only time that your comment is missing is either because you deleted it, YouTube deleted it, or it was filtered automatically and held because you put a link or you literally said something insane. But I go through and I approve. I go through and I approve everything as long as it doesn't contain a link, because I don't want anybody coming into our comments and thinking that they can just, you know, trick people into clicking something or whatever. Because you can edit a comment after the fact. You know, if I approve your comment and originally you have a link that does go somewhere positive or whatever, you might edit it after the fact, and now I'm potentially sending people to some bad site or bad app or whatever where you're going to steal their information. So as far as like that goes, when people accuse us of deleting comments, I'm like, dude, click on the sort button and click newest instead of what do they call, YouTube says it's not recommended, it's like most relevant or something like that. And my favorite thing to tell people, I'm like, if your comment shows up when you switch it, it's because YouTube doesn't think you're relevant, and they get so fucking mad.
Yeah.
But on that note, so you've been on InfoWars a couple times. You were invited on Sean Ryan. I saw that you were commenting, tagging Rogan, trying to get to go on his show. Has anybody presented you with the opportunity, or are you just kind of
No,
hoping?
that's a pipe dream. I
Think
would
so?
fangirl out. Like, you know, he did Fear Factor, bro. Okay. That
I actually
guy's a part of
forgot
my
about that.
childhood.
Your
Shut
age
up,
is
shut-
showing right now.
Yo,
Your age is showing right now. Because Fear Factor was my shit.
I forgot
I'm not gonna lie
about
to you,
that.
Fear Factor was my shit.
I'm 41. I don't hide my age.
How did Rogan originally become famous?
Fear
where did
Factor?
he come
he
from?
was he did MTV stuff, I think. I don't know, honestly. I just remember Fear Factor, and I've always been a big fan of him. I just think he's a cool guy.
I think he's pretty hilarious.
I like his show, and I would love to go on it. I don't know that, but I've also wondered if maybe he's part of that whole clique, and if maybe that door has already been closed to me. If so, that's fine. I understand.
I wonder if
I've got tons of opportunities. I want people to know. I want to reiterate real quick that I'm not like mad I didn't get to go on Sean Ryan's show. I don't care. Like, I'm happy that he finally spoke out about 764 and got the information to all those parents. I have nothing against Ryan Montgomery. I think he's, like I've said, I've spoken behind the scenes to Ryan. We're cool. We're on speaking terms. We help each other out. And so, yeah, there's nothing like that. And I stopped talking about it because I didn't want people to get the impression that I was bitter because of credit or something. I always wanted to make sure people knew that the reason that I was mad is because, like, these people associated with the show did try to ruin my life about this. And I just want to know why. I'm one of those people. I'm an investigator at heart, and I want to know why. Was someone paying Kyle to do this? I want to know. I probably won't stop thinking about this until I find out or I die. So, you know.
I bet if people bookmark this and come back to it in a couple months or a couple of years, there will be something will come out, because it's impossible to keep things like completely hidden or under wraps for that long. You know, everybody
Yeah.
always has either you get caught up, you post the wrong thing, or like you said during the live stream, he's so full of himself that he'll just talk. He'll give you the information eventually. He's going to be talking to somebody, and eventually it's going to come out what his motivation was. It's
Well,
going
you
to
know,
happen.
and it's a good time to point out that he's being sued by Kash Patel's girlfriend for defamation. And, you know, there's a high likelihood that there are other motives behind that lawsuit that pertain to discovery.
Wasn't it something about their like charity foundation? Is that what that is?
No, he called her a Mossad agent, and she sued him for defamation. His response was that it was just a joke. But even though, like, if you go back and watch him on videos, no, he was totally serious. He was like, she's a Mossad agent. How else to explain this? Blah, blah, blah. He went on like several podcasts and presented this theory. And now he's trying to say it was just satire, which is silly. The guy's a clown.
And I think any intelligent judge that looks at his pattern of behavior in his book of work would be like, so are you always being satirical and nobody should ever believe anything that you say, or were you actually being serious?
Exactly. That's why I try to troll and be like, oh, is this satire? You know, but at the same time, you got to understand that the basic foundation principles of lawfare, which is basically that you can get access to people's conversations with certain other people through the discovery process, and that might actually be the goal here instead of actually. I don't know that she was actually that offended by being called that. Maybe she was. I don't know. She's well within her right to sue him because he defamed her. So he put himself in that situation, and who knows? Maybe they'll find something there that pertains to me, or you know, other things that he's done.
And you know who will win at the end of the day? The lawyers.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, depends. I mean, I'll win if they find out that he's being paid by, you know.
Yeah. I'm actually, so I wonder, because I think a lot of times during discovery, the scope of what you ask for and what you can provide has to kind of like, you can't just say, give me every document from your house, right?
No,
like
but
your
you
whole
can say, I want all of your conversations with these people who we know that you do business with.
Yeah.
You know, between this date and this date, and just see what's there. I mean, this is a tool that's used all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Once, if something does come out of it, you know, make sure, let us know. We'll more than willingly reshare it and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things
I
like
don't
that.
have any money. I'm just I'm a poor like everyone else. You know, I'm not out here trying to sue people for defamation and shit. I just rather dunk on you on Twitter. That's more my thing.
So see, lawyers gatekeep real justice. I mean, if you really think about it, you know, how can you afford to retain an attorney these days? You know, how can anybody, for the most part?
Oh, it's insane. A defamation suit could easily cost you $100,000 in legal fees.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was actually one of the guys that he's the executive director for a nonprofit called Warrior Rising, and I was talking all the stuff. We made episodes about Nick Palmisano, and Jason called me, and he was like, "I want to tell you a story." So he has his attorney on the phone with us, and Ken's a great guy. Like, I'm not saying like his attorney was there to like make sure he didn't say the wrong thing. It's his essentially like his right hand man. So he was just on the call just to like whatever, and he's telling me this whole story, and he's like, long story short, I made the mistake one time of saying something about the wrong person who had far deeper pockets than I did, and he had better attorney than I did. And I was like, it's so fucking stupid, man. It's so stupid that you can never actually really break the truth to people, because if you do, the person that you're talking about almost certainly, because I mean, for somebody to be worth you talking about, right? They're probably somebody who's influential, probably has money, knows people. Like, I'm not going to go talk about my neighbor on the podcast. Nobody knows who my neighbor is, you know? So yeah, it was like, fuck. And I initially like hid the videos. I didn't actually delete them. And then later on, I turned them back on because Nick was threatening to he was already trying to sue me in like several other ways at the time anyways. But I mean, kind of going off on a fucking tangent here, but I completely understand. It's fucking, the whole system is stupid. You know, family court's stupid, civil court's stupid, criminal court's stupid. It's all just a complete fucking nightmare to deal with. And you having the opportunity to choose to make fun of somebody on social media rather than sue them, in my opinion, is probably the right move.
Right. Agreed.
So, have you been on any other, you know, obviously I know like other than InfoWars, we're basically the biggest show you've ever been on. What other really like larger shows have you been on? Have you been on anybody interesting?
Yeah, I've been on a lot of really big shows. I've been on Matt Kim's show.
Okay.
I've been on Shane Cashman's show. Yeah, I've been on a lot of shows. I've been on so many podcasts I don't even remember how many. Not to mention I get nonstop inquiries from media, news outlets. I've been featured in 3 different documentaries in different countries about this stuff, and I've been cited by news sources like a dozen times. At any given time, I have at least 3 or 4 journalists from all over the world in my DMs looking for comments or information or looking to collaborate. So, you know, I deal with film producers, documentary people constantly. So like, I'm not, it's not like, no, I don't like it how people are like, nobody ever pays attention to our work, but like, no, they do. You just say, you guys are kind of, sometimes it's like, okay, people who are on X or on YouTube or something, they're like, they have like this narrow-sighted, you know, they have blinders on. And so they're not seeing the world news tonight on BBC News because it's a different audience. But I definitely have been given tons of very big international platforms all over the world I'm very grateful for. And I've been on lots of awesome podcasts that I'm very grateful for. So I don't want people thinking that I'm mad that I didn't get on Sean Ryan's show. I have plenty of other stuff going for me besides that.
What would you say of all the different shows that you've been on, what's been the most entertaining or what's been the best experience?
This one, of course.
Love it. Love it. Look at that.
Stop the cap. Stop the fucking cap, man.
You know, I do love going on InfoWars with Harrison. He's my favorite. I was just on with him on Friday. It was a great piece. I really enjoy going into the InfoWars studio and meeting everyone and doing that. It's great.
So let me ask you this, because I think this would be on everyone's mind, whether they are thinking to ask it or not based on, you know, the conversations you've had. Do you feel like you've made meaningful headway?
Absolutely. You know, especially considering that when we started doing this, nobody was paying attention. I've been able to help victims personally. I've been able to help get bad guys arrested personally. And it might not be a whole lot. Like I'm not out here. Like a lot of people give me too much credit online too. They're like, BX has done all of this and she got all these people arrested. And I'm like, I got a couple people arrested, you know, but I'm not trying to diminish the work of other researchers and law enforcement agents who do the heavy lifting. But yeah, I feel like I've been able to contribute, and it is great. I mean, it feels good, even though it's just probably a small contribution. The other thing I was able to do was I was able to distill all of this information in a way, in a format, in a video format that made sense and resonated with people. And my videos reached a lot of people because it was a good way to break everything down. Whereas the media and the news outlets really only focus on 764 and the child exploitation part. My content actually focuses on the satanic roots of that and the satanic cult behind it and all of the other the accelerationism that's going on. And I think that's an important part of the narrative that a lot of people don't put out, possibly because it's too complicated for most people to understand. So I think that's been my gift here is being able to put this information out in a way that normal parents can understand it. And, you know, I've had parents message me and say that they saw me on a podcast and then they went to their kid's phone and opened it and found them on one of these Discord servers that was sharing gore or whatever, or were shocked, or people who just said, you know what, my kid has always played on Roblox, and I didn't even think about this until I heard you talk about it, and I went and I talked to every single one of my family members and friends and made them turn Roblox off their kids' phones. So I think that's an indication to me that I've made a difference, even in some small way, because all of those parents had kids that could potentially have been victimized, and we've essentially prevented those kids from being victimized in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to give myself too much credit, but I've definitely made an impact at the grassroots level.
For the audience watching this, those videos can be found on your Substack. Can they be found anywhere else?
Rumble and on X. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll make sure those will all be linked as always. Maybe not Rumble. Maybe
So
not Rumble.
besides all the credit, how did it feel to finally start seeing this get some eyes? Like, you know, with Convict getting caught and with big names in the government finally speaking on 764.
Incredible.
I know that
great.
had to feel good. Like after
great.
all these years of being like the crazy conspiracy lady, right? To finally see the headlines of all these big dudes that you've been researching for years and trying to get people's eyes on for years.
Yeah.
What did that
It
feel
felt
like?
great. It felt incredible. And I guess I should say that there's more to come. There's a lot more to come. Probably the biggest story hasn't even broke yet. I think that there will be a lot more stuff coming out very soon connected to this network and these groups. Especially, what was especially great for me, it's hard to say any of this is great because it's so awful too, but it did feel incredible to be vindicated because I'd been honestly dismissed for so long. But one thing that was really impactful to me was when these mass shootings started to pop up on the radar. And I had been telling people these mass shootings were connected for a long time, and everyone thought I was insane. I even got banned from YouTube for saying that. But now it's like every time there's a school shooting, that's the first thing people do is like come to me and ask, was there a link? And I can say yes or no. And then those links to 764 and other networks to school shooters started being reported on nationally in the mainstream news. So that was a really good feeling because, man, I felt very vindicated. Yeah.
So outside of Roblox and Discord, is there any like up and coming vectors, something that people should keep their eyes on? Anything that you're hearing?
Yeah. Anywhere that your kid can talk to strangers is somewhere they should not be online. If your kid can talk to strangers, they shouldn't fucking be there. Your kid shouldn't be talking to strangers. This is a no-brainer. I think that it came as a shock to a lot of people that Roblox had a chat feature, because I think even me, like when I first discovered this, I was like, Roblox, isn't it just like a game where you build stuff and go around? No, it's actually a game where you interface with the public. Anywhere where kids interface with the public is bad. They shouldn't be there. That's why whenever these like apps like Omegle started to come out, I was like, what kind of idiots in Silicon Valley are sitting over there saying, it'd be great, an app where kids can video chat with random strangers one after another. Who the hell thinks this is a good idea? You know what I mean? This is a terrible idea, objectively. And I think that a lot of places parents don't even know, because especially with the older millennials, right? There's a knowledge gap. In that we don't, like, a lot of parents don't realize that their kids are on Discord. They don't even know what Discord is.
Right.
My kid has a Discord. What's a Discord? Oh yeah, here it is on this, and they don't even know. So spreading awareness and educating parents about the different ways that their kids can accidentally interface with the public is very good. They should be hesitant to allow their kids to download anything that has a chat feature, honestly.
That's fair. Yeah, so we have parental controls on basically every device. The oldest daughter, who's 13, she was asking me for permission for an app a week or two ago, and it was like when she was explaining it to me, she was like, it's like how you old people had like Tamagotchi pets when you were kids. It's kind of like that. And I was like, show me the app that you want. So I go and I'm looking through it. It's required It's not optional. It's required to have your location and access to your contacts and your phone, like the phone app. And I was like,
I've seen a lot
sorry.
of that. Yeah, my daughter's asked me for stuff like that too. I'm like, this shit says it. Like one time she was trying to download something from the App Store and there was a warning by Apple that popped up and said, this has a third-party app that can potentially see everything you do on your phone. And I'm like, why the hell does Apple even have this in the App Store? But then it's, it's some Chinese spy shit. Who knows? So I told my daughter, I'm like, this is some Chinese spy app, lady. You can't use it. She's like, so now she always says, Mom, is this one of those Chinese spy apps? And I'm like, oh, look and see. But we're not giving you I'm not giving you my location. Nice try, China.
The other thing that people don't really consider, even though this happens all the time, is even if an app doesn't require those permissions or whatever upon initial install, they could change what permissions that they request from you after you've already downloaded it. So there could be an update down the line where it comes through and it'll prompt you, but a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, 15-year-old or whatever, they're just clicking buttons because they want to use their app. They're not actually reading what it says. Oh, I need permission to use your device's location, or I need permission to do this, or see your camera roll, right? And your camera roll, the images in your phone contain location metadata a lot of times, or networks that you've connected to and stuff. So they can piece together where and who you are based on the images and videos and things like that are in your camera roll. So all the time when people give unfettered access to social media apps, and it's like, oh, my app told me that it made like a video for me of a collage of all my pictures. And I'm like, you fucking idiot. You should not give permission to any social media app. I go so far as to actually even disable background battery usage and background data usage. If my screen is not on and I'm not actively viewing an app, it cannot connect to any network. It can't do anything. And I know people are like, oh, you don't know that. I actually do know that because I can see my network traffic. But yeah, I hinted at this, I think in the last episode or one of the live streams or whatever. So there's actually a way to completely disable ads from the various different social media platforms that does not include using something like Pi-hole or anything like that. If you turn off your location data, don't give them access to your camera roll, because you can do like a per upload kind of thing. So you can open your camera roll and you can manage what you give like X or Facebook or whatever access to each time. And what in those settings, when you do that, you can ensure that basically you're not just giving it any information on you to market to you. And eventually they'll just stop showing you ads. I haven't seen ads on Facebook in like 4 years. Not even joking, because they can't pull any info from my device. They don't know. I mean, they know who I am because I upload things. They have my picture of my face. They have my name, but I don't give them new information to be able to determine, oh, should we show this guy ads for clothing, or should we show him ads for boats or whatever other nonsense people are trying to shill, some weird app, or like Grimsey's video where, what was it, like a stuffed animal? What do you know what that was, Grimsey?
It's like a little Free Palestine plushie.
Yeah.
On a video of me trying to explain how being a goat fucker is not okay.
I swear, sometimes they just do it. It's so funny how they do that, right? Like you just say something, and then it pops up something. And you're like, wait a second.
So I actually want to know the person that sent you that, Grimsey, if you still have contact with them, if you can ask them to just take screenshots of other ads that they receive periodically on other content, not just on yours. Because I'd be curious if
I don't know who that person is at all, bro. Oh. It's like Facebook. I'm not in tune with any of the people that really follow me on Facebook, because I don't really pay attention to the Facebook shit. So I don't know who that is, and she's not the first person to screenshot that. This isn't the first person to tell me that under my videos about Islam is ads promoting Islam. It's really fucking weird, and it's like under the weirdest videos, man. It'll be about like the videos. It'll be under the videos of parents selling their daughters away to 50-year-old men. Like, at what point? Like, okay, my video is trying to bring awareness to 50-year-old men paying to marry 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old girls, and Facebook Meta decides what we need to do is put an ad on here that supports Islam.
Dude, there was one time, like I think it was on YouTube actually, but we were like looking for more information on this online suicide cult. It's kind of a tangent. You can read about it on my Substack, but it also goes into the Cannibal story, which I don't think I've talked to you guys about. But anyways, there's entire communities of people who are looking for suicidal people to be victims of various things, from homicides to serial killer stuff to cannibalism. Crazy
Didn't you
shit.
say?
Okay.
Didn't you say earlier this year when you were on our show previously that there's like groups that like they have like rewards or something along those lines for how many kids that they can get to commit suicide or something crazy like that? Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I've heard that somewhere else.
I don't think so. I don't think that I've said that. I don't know. Probably that wouldn't surprise me. But there was this video about this website, which I won't name, where it's basically coercing people to commit suicide and connecting them with people who will sell them poison, connecting them with serial killers, crazy shit. And underneath that video, there was no joke. There was an advertisement for rope from Home Depot. It's almost like it saw the keyword suicide and then posted an ad for fucking rope. Like, what a strange thing. Have you ever organically just seen an ad for rope from Home Depot?
No.
So rope is
who the fuck? Who the fuck am I? Indiana Jones? No, I've never fucking talked. I've not even talked about rope.
So what's weird about that is that rope is a slang that they use on this website to mean kill yourself. It'll go rope. And there's they have manuals on how to hang yourself without screwing it up and all of this. And yeah, an ad for rope.
So saying that they have a manual so that they don't screw it up, it reminds me, I don't know if you guys had seen this, but apparently North Korea made attempted suicide like this. It's like the highest order of crime. They're basically calling attempted suicide treason, which is punishable by death. So if you fail trying to kill yourself, we're going to kill you.
Makes sense, actually. When you don't think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Okay, so they should just like come to you and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And you'd be like, all right, cool, face the wall.
Yeah, that's Kim logic right there. Man.
Yeah.
That's Kim logic.
Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about the Cannibal thing, because I don't believe we've talked about any of that at all. And so
sure.
I want to say something here real quick. So the algorithm has been bouncing around on X, obviously, for the past several months. For a while, I wasn't seeing your content at all.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah, but it has started to come back in. So I think that they've made some changes that have kind of helped content pop back up.
Yeah.
Is this something that you've talked about extensively on X, or is this in Substack?
Well, I released a Substack 3-article series. It's free on my Substack. You can read about the time that I investigated a cannibal network, possibly, and ended up becoming a honeypot for one of these guys. I was texting him, pretending to be a suicidal victim.
Pause.
And
what the fuck is a honeypot?
I literally just
honeypot
explained this to my wife yesterday, so this is funny.
A honeypot is where an investigator will pretend to be inquiring about something. Like in this case, I was pretending to be a suicidal woman who was looking for an out, and I was trying to bait him into getting information and doing a meetup so that he could, kill and eat me. And the hope was that we would be able to actually physically meet up with this person with cameras that were there, right?
So like
and then
Alex Rosen,
take a seat, like Chris Hansen stuff. Like, take a seat. Why were you trying to eat me? Let's talk this out.
Such a wild
a
question to
honeypot
ask
can also
somebody.
be, a honeypot can also just be like,
What the fuck is
trying to
going
get
on
information
right
from
now?
people.
What?
There's cannibals, and you know where they are, Grimsey? You want to take
Where?
a yes? Florida. Did you really think it would be anywhere else? Did you really think it'd be anywhere else? Yeah, they're all over the country actually, but this specific group was in Florida. You go read
What the
about it.
fuck is going on
There's
right now?
cannibals. Did you ever have any doubt though, really, that there'd be cannibals? Of course.
No, you know what? I just don't think it's ever been sold to me Chris Hansen style. So I think that might have been fucking, you know what I'm saying? My brain
read my
wired it
Substack.
differently.
You will read it, see what it's about. It's dark, but it's also kind of funny, I guess, at the same time.
That's.
I don't.
So we were just.
You know
talking
what?
About,
I could see the comedy behind that actually.
We were just talking about how there's uncontacted or people have tried but they've been killed. Groups on like islands in the middle of nowhere, you know, where they don't know anything about the real world or like anything beyond whatever their little forest or whatever is on their little island. And a lot of them tend to be cannibals, or people assume that they're cannibals. I know there's a lot of cannibal tribes all over Africa and stuff as well. But it's so weird to just think that.
Oh no, these people are all American, baby.
Yeah.
You look at them and look at their profiles. They're executives for telecommunications companies.
Okay.
They're baking for your local neighborhood potluck.
So it's like Hannibal.
What the fuck? How did you
They
stumble
look-
across these
They
people?
look like there was one couple, the one I ended up honeypotting. They look like the most all-American, nicest people. They would invite you in for a home-cooked meal if you were stranded on the side of the road. You know the end of that story.
Yeah, you're the home cooked meal.
I don't eat at potlucks anymore.
You see, this is some movie shit. Okay. How did you come across this cannibal situation?
So I was looking into the Suicide Network, this website that connects suicidal people with ways to kill themselves. And one of the things that we found was that there were legitimate serial killers on there trying to convince people to go, sometimes they're honest about their intentions and sometimes they were not. There was actually just a story last week. I've been looking into this. I haven't got a whole bunch of information yet, but it's the New York Post put out a story about a woman who met with a guy. They arrested him. But she met with him. She flew down from the UK to do like a suicide thing, but she had a thing where she wanted it to be like long drawn out. She wanted to be tortured to death, and yeah, he gave her what she wanted. They found her body and they found him and they arrested him. And I was like, yeah, this isn't surprising to me. There's people who prey on suicidal people for this reason, because they see them as like for this guy, he's all ethical cannibalism, right? Like, I don't want to kill somebody, but if they're willing to die. He was also looking for HIV positive gay men to kill, potentially to eat. I don't know if he thought maybe their lives intrinsically had less value because of their situation.
You said bro wanted to have an AIDS sandwich.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, actually, this is how I learned about people called bug chasers.
Okay, we need an explanation of this one.
I don't know. Actually,
Hold on.
I don't fucking know if I want an explanation for that. No, I do.
I do. But one question
Yeah.
first. So when you say that they're being honest, you're saying like serial killers are in these forums, and they're like,
I want to kill someone violently, and if you're looking for a way to die, I can do that for you. I just want to know what it's like to kill somebody.
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Or I want to eat you. I'm going to be open about it. I want to eat you. You want to die. Win-win.
This is gonna be a movie. I know it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay,
I've already had documentary people reach out to me about this Substack series.
So explain the B.
Yeah,
no.
so there's actually a very strange fetish community out there that is people who are like looking to contract HIV for whatever reason. Maybe it's a form of self-harm, maybe it's suicidal, people are kind of suicidal. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, there's actually, they're called bug chasers.
What the fuck? Okay. I don't remember what it's
I've
called.
seen some weird shit.
I know that there are people out there that genuinely believe that, like, when the government tells you, oh, you don't want to have cancer because cancer's bad, and people are like, maybe that's the key to living forever is that I go and get infected with somebody else's HIV. That's
I don't know
crazy.
why, but there's weird websites where gay men hook up and they have to disclose their HIV status, and there's certain people who seek out that. They have parties
That's
like sex parties. I'm sorry.
what the fuck. That's insane.
Sorry you had to learn about this. You did ask. I offered to. I gave you an out.
No, I mean,
Yeah, I shouldn't have asked about this shit. I don't know what the fuck. Who?
next time we just tell Grimsy to take his earbuds
Why?
out.
When, bro? I'm just mental illness is crazy, bro.
Yeah, what intrusive thoughts? How long do you really contemplate this, or is this like on a whim? And I wonder if they regret it, because to me it sounds like they don't. Because if you're going through all this effort and you really want this, you probably aren't ever going to regret it, no matter how terrible it turns out for you. But at the same time, like, how do you even trust the person that says that they're going to kill you humanely or whatever? How do you trust that?
Well,
That's
I mean,
not
I probably don't have to explain this to you, but you know, people who put themselves in these positions are not in good. They're not sane.
Yeah.
Right? They're not thinking rationally.
It just blows my mind.
They're very vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's preying on the vulnerable, really.
I'd want to see like a real fully fleshed out, story about this, like something.
Well, I already have one on Substack. You can read it.
Yeah. No, so I'm saying like somebody needs to get with you and to actually like turn this into like a real.
Yeah, I've had a couple of people reach out, but nothing ever actually came out of it. I should
like
probably put the story out again.
The next Netflix or Amazon or whatever major series, something
I think
to
you're
that
going to
effect.
start seeing some interesting stuff pop up on streaming services soon. I'll just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Make sure you send us a link when something pops up that we should keep our eyes on.
Bro.
Yeah.
Just looking it up on Google.
You looked
Right.
up bug catcher?
Bug chaser.
Bug chaser.
The term reflects a controversial movement that began in the late 1990s, where individuals known as bug chasers intentionally pursue infection, while those who infect them are referred to as, guess, Drew.
I don't know. I have no idea. I feel like
gift givers.
What?
Bro?
It's like a cult. Like, it's very strange. Doesn't make any sense. Don't try to make sense of it because it doesn't make sense. It's just weird. People are crazy.
It's like Santa
People are
and his
insane.
fucking elves, but it's with AIDS.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's insane.
You just fucked me up for the day. I don't think I need any more.
Well, I do have to jump off soon because I gotta be somewhere.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I did warn you. It was weird.
So
Fuck my day up.
So before we wrap up and everything like that, are there any other topics that you wanted to address or talk about? Anything that you think people might be interested in?
No, just really, I want to push people to Substack, and like, really, it's the best way that I monetize my content. Also, a lot of stuff's on there without paywall, so you can go play around and just have a blast and read a bunch of crazy stuff. But if you do want to support my work, I really like when people get subscriptions to my Substack and read some of my more in-depth research. Makes me happy, helps me pay the bills, and so I would say just definitely go to Substack and poke around and see if it's worth subscribing, and also just share this information with parents, right? Share the information about Roblox and chat messaging apps and that kind of stuff.
Before we close out, what do you think is like the key, like the real key thing to look for when your kids, like, so a lot of people, like you said, they're not very savvy. They're not tech savvy. They would much rather just give their kid the device and then allow them to have like admin privileges, right? They can just download whatever they want. They can view whatever they want because it's like the convenience factor, right? Like what are some things or behaviors that you think people could quickly identify to say, okay, I need to check your device because clearly something's going on here.
Yeah, I actually have a full Substack article about that for free. It's called 764 Warning Signs. It talks about, it's very detailed. It talks about all the things that you could, that could possibly alert you to the fact that your kid's in one of these weird communities. I would say like one of the most concerning that I've seen crop up personally, people have messaged me and told me that their kids were involved in this is mass shooter glorifications. If your kid's researching mass shooters, starting to post stuff about mass shooters and you know, make things notebook drawings. I don't know. If your kid is interested in mass shooters, you should be on high alert that they're in one of these online communities. Which
that specific post in her Substack, I actually used for one of my videos to try and get parents to understand and learn a little bit more about the parental controls on their shit. That Substack is legit.
So outside of that, you know, we've been trying to get back to our roots here and throw somebody in the trunk at the end of every episode. Do you have any specific person or just a group or anybody that you think should be thrown in the trunk?
We already know
What is
this
that?
one.
What do you mean? Like to be interviewed?
No. Like literally bag over the head, thrown in the trunk, tossed into a swamp somewhere in the middle of nowhere, like
In Minecraft.
in Minecraft.
Right.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, I think we've already talked about a few of them, right? But let's just go with the cannibal. Let's just go with the HIV chasing cannibal. That guy can go in the trunk.
Okay. We'll throw him. Yep. Tag him and back him.
You didn't have now it's just more. I don't actually no. I don't want to put that guy in the fucking trunk. I don't want to touch him.
But if you put him in the trunk with the rest of the bad people that are in there, he could take care of multiple
hire
problems
someone.
for you at once.
Negative. I'm not going near that motherfucker.
Just tell him that there's an HIV party in the trunk. And they'll get in there willingly.
See why are we okay. We're gonna close this shit out, man. Love, peace, and chicken grease because they're doing some wild shit right now, man. We'll see y'all in the next one.
All right, peace. We're back.
Boy. Thanks, guys.
Trunk tales! Trunk tales!